Your life.
We're live?
Oh, yeah, so let me just pull up the page you want.
Which is the YouTube, right?
Yeah, which is the book, right?
Yeah. And then so this is going live to my
Your channel right now.
Okay. So inshallah we'll be able to run this back, play this, see if the audio works. Right. The Airbnb PDF, there you go.
Let's see if it's coming up there. Yep, there we go.
Awesome. Okay, and then so how do I go back to this real quick?
To which part?
To this.
Yes.
Because I can.
So this
plus button. So I can bring this in to just be pulling just this, just. Oh, okay. Never mind.
It changes. That's changing the resolution.
Okay,
right
gotcha. Okay. And then so this is, where's the YouTube again? I missed everything. Where was he?
Video before.
Okay, so this
is showing that even though you can't see it, it's showing you what's there.
Okay.
But if you were to go back here.
Okay. So yes,
it's
but I
still
can
there.
scroll the page. So
Yep.
so.
Let me pull your channel up over here.
Okay.
Make sure
Yeah. See if I'm live. See if you can hear me.
Is it
Live? It's live. Okay, guys, we're live.
Can you hear it? What's the channel? It's YouTube, right?
I'll put yes.
Yeah.
Someone put that link in the group, please. You can send. You should be able to send that, right? And then from there, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I'm not trying to make money off you guys, but subscribe. Right? Okay, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it. The link.
Okay, and since this is. Okay, and since. Since this is a test, guys, I'm just gonna, we'll just go through this a little bit, right? So we'll go straight up to chapter 1. We'll go through this a little bit just to start explaining some stuff, just to see. Okay, but you can hear the audio. Okay, alhamdulillah. So al-wahdatul ula, right? So what we learn here, okay, guys, and this is not important. I'll point out some stuff every now and then, right, about certain things that are going on, right? Okay, and I need to get me one of these little stick pointers, right, for you guys. This ta marbuta, who remembers what I mentioned about the ta marbuta, right? The little circle with the dots, right? Or this other one over here with the dots. What's the significance of this little symbol on the end of a word? It's letting us know that that's a feminine word, okay? Right? And so grammatically, it's not really important, but when we start getting into talking about, because this book is also going to teach us how to both talk about things that are feminine in nature and also to speak to the opposite gender, okay? And so this is how we recognize when we're, what we're talking about and who we're talking to, right? When we see this ta marbuta at the end of a word, most of the time, because there are words and there are feminine names that don't have a ta marbuta, right? And there are masculine names that have the ta marbuta, right? But they're not. It's obviously it's a man's name, right? Like Hamza has a ta marbuta at the end, but we know this is a masculine name. We know it's a male that we're speaking to, right? Or we're speaking about, right? So the point is to just notice that the sign, because this in many cases is going to let us know who we're talking to or who we're talking about or what we're talking about, right? So the wahda is the chapter or the section. Al-ula is the first, right? So in Arabic, the numbers go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wahid, ithnan, thalatha, arba, khamsa, and then there's also, like in English, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, right? And so there's a different way of saying that. And so the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, right? The numbers, just like regular words, have both a masculine and a feminine, right? So al-wahdat al-ula, and so since al-wahda, what kind of, is that a masculine or a feminine word? It's a feminine word, right? So al-ula is the feminine for first. So al-awwal is the masculine for first. Al-ula is the feminine for first, right? So al-wahdatul ula. So the describing word has to match. It has to match what's being said, right? So since this word is feminine, this form, ula, we can't say wahdatul awwal, right? Because it doesn't match the gender, right? So this gender has to match, the genders have to match, right? So wahdatul ula, right? The first chapter, and at-tahiyya wa ta'arif, right? And so we covered this already, but at-tahiyya is just your simple greeting. Assalamu alaikum, right? This is just the greeting, right? The ma'asalama, see you later, right? Or ahlan wa sahlan, right? Whatever, some people don't give a salam, they'll hit you with the ahlan wa sahlan, right? And the ta'aruf, right? The ta'aruf is from arafa, right? To know, right? So ta'aruf, like, so getting to know the person you're speaking to, so, right? So whatever information that is more than just your whatever information that is more than just your greeting of hello, right? So the salam alaikum and anything after that is ta'aruf, right? So getting to know. So asking about them, asking about their day, kayf al-hal, right? Okay, babe, sweetie, we're recording, okay? Okay, and so here we go, and here so we see it again. Al-wahda al-awwal, right? Al-ula, right? The first chapter, Tahiyya wa Ta'arif, right? Dars al-awwal, the very first lesson, the first lesson of the book, guys, right? And it's giving us a conversation. It's giving us a conversation. Right, so it's giving us our first basic conversation. Okay, guys, and so there's a bunch of words here that also we find in the Quran, right? Ard, al-ard, right? And so there's another word that's similar to this, and we shouldn't get them confused, right? So this is why it's very important to make sure that we're pronouncing words correctly as far as, right? Al-ikhtilaf bayna al-huruf khafif wa thaqil, right? Between the letters that are heavy and between the letters that are light, right? So the ayn is a heavy letter or a light letter? It's a heavy letter, right? And so ard with a hamza, ard is like the earth, the dunya, right? Fis samati wa fal ard, right? So we find this, right? This is ard. This is the presentation, right? And so it's a little bit different, okay? So ard, we find it all over the Quran, right? Ard, right? Okay. Al-wahdat al-ula, right? Al-ula. And so what we find here also, right? Those three words there are also words that you will find all over the Quran, right? And these are what we call fi'lun amr, right? This is a command, so it's telling you, right? Pay attention, right? So this giving you the first lesson, it's telling you undur, right? So look at everything, look at what's happening, look at the genders, look at all of the haraka, wastami', listen, right? Wa'id, right? And to repeat it. So the eye is telling you to look, the ear is telling you to listen, and a'id, the circle, is telling you to repeat, right? So what is it? There's like a dot after the period. Yes, it's just a period. So they in fi kutub al-ilm, you're not going to find this, right? In the books of knowledge, you're not going to find this, but in this, because they want you to get used to seeing those kind of things. So they're breaking up the parts of speech so that you could recognize, so you can recognize those kind of things, right? To see where the speech breaks, if that makes sense. Okay, so where's the nadara, right? So nadara. So nadara, right, to look, right? So nadara, to look. وَإِذَا مَا أُنزِلَ سُورَةٌ نَذَّرَ, right? So look. So right. So nadara, right, means to look. You find this in the Quran. And then the other one, Basara, وَسَمْعِهِمْ, right? Was right. وَخَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ وَعَلَى سَمْعِهِمْ وَعَلَى أَبْصَارِهِمْ غِشَاوَةٌ, right? And above and over their eyes is a veil, right? So the point is that these are words already, just from just the description of the lesson before we even getting into it. You're finding stuff that's in the Quran, right? So your basic al-hiwar, right, is al-hiwar is the conversation, right? Bayna Khalid wa Khalil. We don't know who's who. We know there's a conversation happening between bayna Khalid wa Khalil. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam, right? Everybody knows this greeting. Everybody should know what this means, right? What a lot of people don't actually know is, right, this is the difference between, this is why it's a right upon your Muslim brother, right, to get the salam from you, okay? Someone gives you the salam, it is their right for you to return that salam to them, right? It's their right. Even if they don't hit you with the salam first, it's your right to give them the salam, okay? This is one of the rights that your brother has over you, right, to give him his salam, okay? Outside of Islam, at your work, at your school, in your homes, if you live amongst people who are kuffar, right? What's up? What's going on? How's it? Whatever, all this silly stuff, right? It's not even a greeting sometimes. What's good, right? As-salam, the peace, alaykum. You're literally making a dua for the person that you're greeting. Peace, peace, peace unto you, Akhi. The peace, Allah's peace upon you, right? And this is not alayka, right? Alayka is singular. Alayka means I'm talking to just one of you. Alayka, 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 alayka. Alaykum, if I say assalamu alaykum, right? In this case, I'm greeting all of you, right? Or if I'm speaking to just Yusuf, and right, and it's just you by yourself, I'm saying peace be upon you and your whole progeny, your whole family, right? And then it goes even farther. The reward increases by 10 if you say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, right? And then it increases even more if you say wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, right? I'm literally making dua for you just in the greeting, right? So this is how beautiful the speech is, right? This is like ajib, like what's like amazing about the Arabic, right? This is why it's so deep, right? So al-hiwar bayna Khalid wa Khalil, right? Ismi, right? So the ism, right? Ism is a name. Ismi, when we put this ya, it means it's possessive. It means mine. So my name, right? Ismi Khalid. He's telling him, Ismi Khalid. Masmuka, right? So what we want to look at, what is important here, is this kaf with fataha, right? This kaf with fataha, right? Grammatically, right? It's not important to know the grammatical structure of this. It's important to know that this kaf with the fataha means that I am speaking to a man, right? Or a male, a boy, right? Somebody who's masculine, okay? So assalamu alaikum, right? Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Ma ismuka. Ma is a questioning particle. What? Ismuka. Your name. What your name, right? So there's no is in Arabic. The is.
I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay, yalla. Right? The is implied, right? Is implied. There's no is in the Arabic language. So this literally means what name you? What name yours? Right? What's your name? What is your name? Right? The is implied. There's no is in Arabic. Okay? Well, ismi, again, we see ismi, my name, Khalil. Ismi Khalil. Wa kayfa haluka. Again, we see the ka, you, kayfa haluka. Right? And more often than not, when you speak to people, they'll say kayf halik. Right? In many cases, when people don't put, number one, most Arabs just in general don't speak this fusha, right? It's fusha to pronounce every single vowel, every single haraka, right? Okay? Most of the time they will not pronounce those, okay? And so in some cases, I'm sure in this case, your common Arab knows the difference between cat and ki, right? Man and woman, right? But a lot of times when they don't pronounce that, it's because they don't know grammatically what should happen at the end of that word. So they stop, okay? This is where we want to separate ourselves, right? We want to be fusha. We want to be educated, right? When you start speaking like this, then it's MashaAllah, Ahlul Kitab, right? People of the book, look at you, MashaAllah, right? Sometimes it's a compliment, and sometimes it's people being whatever, khalas, whatever. You're not learning it for them, right? Doesn't matter. Ismi Khalil, wa kayfa haluka, and how are you, right? So kayf is another question, right? Kayf, how, kayf, ma, what, kayf, how, haluka, hal. So hal is like the condition, right? It means a state or a condition, right? So what's your state, right? We translate it as how are you, right? But it means the condition, the state. What's your condition? How are you? Are you sad? Are you happy? Are you tired? Are you hungry? What's your condition? كيف حالك? كيف حالك? Right? كيف حالك? Right? And so this is what this is. The response, بخير, right? And so the reason why this is not بخير is because ba came in the front. Okay, ba is one of those connecting particles, the harf, right? So when these particles come, it causes kasra. Remember what I told you? Yes.
I just want to make sure you understand before you get. So typically when, even at the masjid here, some of the brothers be like, keep a halak, right? So just like slang is what you're saying. So the proper reading would be keep a halak to the like masculine.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Make sure.
Right. And so like when we say, okay, and I'll get into that in a second. So yes, say every harf. And remember, and this is when you guys were reading, instead of, because when you're reciting the Quran, you stop at that last. You stop, right? I said, for the purpose of you guys learning right now, read everything, right? This is why, because in the speech, you say everything, right? We don't stop like how we stopped at the end of an ayat and not pronounce that last vowel, okay? When we're speaking, we want to pronounce everything. We want to say everything. كيف حالك يا أخي, right? كيف حالك, right? So pronounce that, right? Even if they don't, yes?
It would be even beneficial, like if we have somewhat of understanding of tajweed, to even forego the tajweed and like read everything before out loud.
Yes, but you wouldn't do that in the prayer, okay, right? So that according to like tajweed in the pronouncing, that's actually it wouldn't.
Where's the water? I need some water.
الماء هنا انظر أنت قريب الحاسوبي لا you're gonna get water, right? So كيف حالك بخير. So this ba, right? خير, we would normally say خير, right? But this ba causes what they call grammatically jar. It causes kasra, right? In layman's terms, this ba causes kasra. So we say بخير walhamdulillah. بخير walhamdulillah. Khayr is good. بخير, with good. I'm good, right? Alhamdulillah. بخير walhamdulillah. I'm good. Thanks to Allah, I'm good. Alhamdulillah. وكيف حالك أنت, right? And so this is another one, right? There's another form of greeting, right? They say كيف أنت, right? Sometimes you'll hear كيف حالك, right? Sometimes you hear كيف أنت. They don't say أنت, they say كيف أنت, right? They don't pronounce that fatiha again, right? كيف أنت يا أخي, right? So same thing, right? How are you, right? Again, there's no R in the Arabic language. So is, are, these, when we translate it, it's assumed, right? We put that in that to understand it via English, right? But in the Arabic, there's no is and there's no are, right? كيف حالك, right? كيف أنت, how are you? كيف أنت, right? بخير والحمد لله, right? بخير والحمد لله. Okay, so this is the masculine form of the conversation, and this is the feminine form of the conversation, right? Al-hiwar, again, al-hiwar, a conversation, speech, bayna khawla wa khadija, and you'll notice both names have the ta marbuta, okay, right? Not all feminine names will have a ta marbuta, but in this case, alhamdulillah, both names have the ta marbuta, right? And so it's the same exact conversation, but now undur, pay close attention, wastama', right? Listen very closely. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Ismi khawla ma asmuki, right? So when you're talking to your wife, when you're talking to your sister, when you're talking to your wife's sister, somebody else who's a feminine nature that you have business speaking to, right? So we shouldn't just be speaking to on the masjid that we don't know. Masmuka, sister. What's your name? Right? We shouldn't be speaking to someone who's not somehow related to us, so that we have a reason to be speaking to them, right? Masmuki, what's your name? Right? Masmuki, right? Ismi Khadija kayfa hawluki. Again, so the kasra denotes a woman, right? So when we say to a brother, one of the brothers, Jazakallah khair, Jazaka, ka, you, a man. So what do we say to a sister? Jazaki, Jazakillahu khair. Jazaki, right? So this key lets us know this conversation is happening between, right? If we didn't see a picture, we know this is a conversation happening between two sisters, two women, right? كيف حالك اسمي مسمك اسمي خديجة كيف حالك, how are you, and how are you, كيف حال, what's your condition, right? To a woman, right? Again, بخير والحمد لله. So you see, a lot doesn't change when women are speaking either to you or to each other, right? But the little things like this smuki, right? So this kaf is what they call a damir. It's basically what they call a pronoun, right? He, him, her, she, they, who, they, right? Those are pronouns, right? So this is the pronoun in Arabic, this kaf, and it's not always kaf. Sometimes it's something else, right? كيف حالك بخير والحمد لله وكيف حالك أنت. So to the man we say أنت, for the sister we say أنت. كيف أنت, right? من أين أنت, where are you from, right? أنت, right? So this is you know, you wouldn't want to say to a brother كيف أنت, right? كيف حالك أنت, right? Brothers can أنت طالب العربي? Are you an Arabic student? What's going on? Right? Okay, so بخير والحمد لله. بخير والحمد لله. Right? What time is it? It's already 8 o'clock. I think we've got another like 10 minutes before the adhan comes in from Maghrib. So we'll go on for another 10 minutes. And again, this is just a test run, guys. We're gonna find out who's coming. We're gonna inshallah, we're going to get some more students, and we will go through this again, right? This is just a test run, right? This is entertainment, right? Al-mufradat, right? The mufradat, right? The vocabulary. Wal-ard, the mufradat al-ard, right? The vocabulary of the presentation. Again, they say undur wastami' wa'id, right? And here now again, it's just you're taking notice, right? And I think in the book, this is just an exercise, okay? We see here, كيف حالك is between the two brothers, كيف حالك is between the two sisters. Anti is she's speaking to a sister. Anta, speaking to who? She's speaking to the brother, right? Masmuka, he's speaking to the one sitting next to him. Masmuki, the sister is asking the sister, right? So here's one of the first exercises of the actual book, and so there's audio for some of these presentations, but we'll probably just go. Yes, sir.
So when you were saying about pronouncing each letter, right? So
Yes.
if we go back to where it says ma ismuki
Mm-hmm.
or ma ismuka,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you hear brothers they'll say mas.
Yes. Very good point.
So
Very good
for
point.
us, you want us to practice saying each letter, correct?
Yes. Well.
Not run, even though we have if you can run it together, based on I get the grammar portion of it.
Yes, and so this is a very good question, right? Because it is actually more proper, right? And so I think this kind of refers to a little bit what Armand was saying about keeping in mind some of the rules of tajweed, right? Because in a sense, the rules of tajweed come from the qa'idah also of reading, right? And so according to the rules of reading and the rules of tajweed, right? ما هذا حروف؟ أي حروف? What letter is this? What is it? Alif or Hamza? Hamzatul Wasl, right? Right? And so Hamzatul Wasl, right? wasli, right?
Say it one more time, I'm sorry.
همزة الوصل. إذا تقولي ال في كلمة, right? When alif lam enters into a word, right? تعرف الحروف القمرية وحروف الشمسية? Do you know the letters, the sun letters and moon letters?
I've never been taught it, I practiced it, but I've just never
Okay.
been taught it.
Okay. So what happens there, right? For the sun letters, right? If something comes before, that hamzatul wasl gets skipped, right? Wasli means to connect, okay? Hamzatul wasl means to connect, right? So this is the hamzatul wasl, okay? So it would be more correct. You could say it, but this would be like the bad speech of kayf halak, kayf ant, right? You're not pronouncing everything, right? It's more correct to say masmuk, masmuka, masmuki is more correct to as if this was Quran in Tajweed, right? If this was in the Quran, it would say masmuka, masmuki, right? You can say ma'ismuk, ma'ismuki, masmuka, right? But it's more correct to say masmuka, masmuki, masmuka, masmuki.
So are we fully getting into this part? Because I don't see a fatah on that law, right? So we're just assuming that we're going to identify that part without the
Yes,
fatah present?
yes. And so
Okay.
now, going back to the qaida of reading, right? When we have a letter with fatha and it's followed by an alif, what happens?
Or you choose.
Just here, just looking at meme and alif, what happens? If this meme had a fatha, what happens?
I can't even see that far. Is that a dhamma or a sukun on top?
Look in the book. Look in the book, right? If we were in the mushaf, if we were looking in the Quran, right? And this meme had fatha and it was followed by this alif.
Oh, you extended it.
If we're just looking at this,
Oh, yeah, if you want, you extended it.
what's it called? Med, right? Med, right? And so this is one of the things that's very, 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 very basic, right? But in most أكثر الكتب العلم, in most of the books of knowledge, there's no كلهم بدون الحركة, right? Right there, most of them are without haraka, right? So when you see stuff like this is a sign letting you know, right? There's one letter and then it's followed by alif. It's a very good chance that this meme has a fataha. It's telling you that's med. So we know this is ma, right? This is not going to be. If this was kasra med, would that be alif? If this because how many meds are there? 3. And so what are they? Right? So fatha med is a, not a. Kasra med is e, not e, right? And dhamma med is u, right? So because this is fataha, I mean in alif, right? If it was dhamma, then this would likely be, if there was no vowel and this was meme with dhamma, I mean a wow, it's probably dhamma med, right? If this was a meme with a ya and no vowel on the meme, it's probably kasra med, right?
It's teaching us how to just
Yes.
assume that, take away the...
Yes. And so it's one of the things I like about the Medina book is that when it gives you words for the first time, it puts the haraka on it, okay? As the chapters go, as you start getting into chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, all of those words that they gave you already with the haraka, they as the book goes on, they remove those haraka. So you're learning how to read all of this stuff without the vowels because you should remember what that word is, right? And so that just brings me to something about what we're going to be doing here. So every chapter is going to have vocabulary that is just based on what's happening in this chapter. So this chapter is just based on a tahiyya wa ta'arif, right? So the greeting and the getting to know. So all of our vocabulary for this chapter is just going to be based around this topic, right? So it's going to be huge. It's going to be crucial for you guys throughout the week to make sure that you're understanding whatever vocabulary is relating to this chapter, right? Because when we get into class, we're going to be pairing up with people. You guys are going to be practicing these conversations with each other, right? And you guys want to know and remember what you're saying to each other, right? For Al-Shabab, how was my lesson? How was it? Was good? Is it is it boring? Okay. Okay. So little stuff like this, yes, little stuff like this is going to be easy. But again, if there's something that's not clear, ask. I will always help you to answer. But so when we see this meme. There's no vowel on it, but we see the fatha coming after. It's a good chance that's the fatha met, right? So mas, right, and then we have the wasli. So we're going to go right to the scene. Masmuki, masmuka, masmuka, right? But no, that's a great question, right? So if you guys don't understand something, please ask. Don't leave being confused or not. I left you without information about something, okay? And even if most of my teachers always said the dumb question is the one that you don't ask, right? Okay, so if something doesn't make sense, ask, right? Okay, so anti, wa anta, and so this in your book is an exercise for you, right? So you would connect the dot, right? Masmuka goes to which picture, right? Sil, right? Remember wasli, I said wasli, sil means to connect. Sil, bayna,
I go to the bathroom.
okay, come here, go.
Stop. I need you. I gotta go poop.
Okay, go. I'll be right there, inshallah. It's just about, they're going to call the adhan anyways. Okay, but so this exercise, sil bayna al-ibarati wa suratu manasiba, right? So connect between, go. Okay, I will. Connect between the phrase and the appropriate picture. That's what this says. Sil bayna al-ibarati wa suratu manasiba. Surah is a picture. And manasiba means like the appropriate one or whatever, right? Sil, connect between the correct phrase and the appropriate picture. Okay, inshallah.
So if you wanted the OBS, you just hit stop streaming on that software.
Okay, well, how do let me see, there we go. Where's the stop? Okay, and I didn't give my proper salam, but alhamdulillah, this was the test run. Inshallah, you guys can check this out on the channel. And anybody else who's tuned in, I apologize. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
You get the very bottom.